Over here, there's a scene with this gigantic horse. It's a pretty bloody scene. It's called the Death of Tecumseh. And then soldiers lined up for the Mexican-American War. Now, the scenes are divided by trees. So if you look at the middle of that tree, between those two scenes, look down the trunk, you'll see a face. Filippo Costaggini put himself in the frieze of American history. So do you all see that? Now, Costaggini realized that Bermude was given the wrong dimensions. What that meant was there was over 30 feet that was left without a drawing. So he was painting with a purpose, and that purpose was to get a commission by Congress to finish off the frieze. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if anybody's ever told you all, but sometimes Congress works slow. It happens. And they didn't really get back to him before he passed away. Kind of passed away. It wasn't until the 1950s that the final three scenes were added by an artist by the name of Alan Cox. Now, funny enough, the final three scenes, the last scene is the birth of aviation with the Wright Flyer. If you look back over the western front door, you look up, you'll see the Wright Flyer, birth of aviation. Who has been to the National Air and Space Museum, part of the Smithsonian? Right there, you can see the Wright Flyer back in the National Air and Space Museum, the actual one. Funny enough, that scene also depicts air and space. If you look at the Eagle, it looks very similar to the Eagle in the Apollo 11 patch that's landing on the moon, with the laurel wreath in its mouth. So that's our version of air and space in the frieze. That one was painted before the Apollo 11 mission was launched in 1969. Now on eye level, there's 8 giant oil paintings representing 2 distinct themes. On the eastern half, this half, it's discovery. So we have DeSoto, that's the man on the white horse. He's the first European to discover the Mississippi, and this is the picture of him discovering the Mississippi River. It's a fairly bloody scene. He would later be killed and buried in the Mississippi River. Now, the barrel of the Mississippi is right above Mr. Grant Garfield's head. If you look straight up above his head, you'll see a scene with a boat, a man covered in cloth. That's DeSoto getting buried in the Mississippi River. Directly behind us, the landing of Columbus. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and this shows him landing in the West Indies. These 2 scenes really talk more about the colonists. We have the embarkation of the Pilgrims. Y'all want to come on over because there's another group coming over. So you want to make sure you get out of their way. The embarkation of the Pilgrims. This shows the Pilgrims leaving the Old World, Delft Holland on the right, heading to the New World on the left, towards the rainbow. Before Skittles was invented, they were chasing the rainbow too. Now this shows them on the Speedwell, not the Mayflower. The Speedwell was more of a marketing ploy. The ship was not very ocean-going. It was leaky and it was slow, so they ditched it at Plymouth, England. The final scene is the baptism of Pocahontas. That's Pocahontas in the white dress. She's getting baptized so she can marry the man behind her, John Rolfe. On the far side, it's all about revolution, and thankfully these are in order. So we have the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson in the red vest, handing the Declaration of Independence into the Continental Congress.